Hi, this is Ilma Art Studios photograph for today. Beautiful birds in flight in the Botanical Garden in Toronto, Hamilton. Hi, check my website at ilmaarts.com for more artworks and photographs. Today I'd like to share Psalm 6 verses 6 to 7. It says, I'm worn out from sobbing. All night I flood my bed with weeping, drenching it with tears. My vision is blurred by grief. Here's my poem. Grief can blur vision. When one loses someone, they may have bouts of weeping. It is hard to deal with the loss of someone they love so deeply. Grief oftentimes blurs someone's perspective and vision. It can bring back painful moments and bring confusion. When one loses a loved one, it can bring much sadness. For believers of Jesus, there will be a day of hope and gladness. Run to His arms so you can experience God's comfort and peace. He will wipe your tears away. Just be still and know He's there. Here's my essay. My father just died a week ago. It was such a sudden death. Even though he was 86, he had no other conditions but just old age. It was a very hot day, according to my brother, who witnessed him vomiting and in just a few hours died. When I heard the news on the phone, I was in shock. I couldn't go home to the Philippines in 4 days to bury him. We were in the middle of doing our own renovation and practically drained of resources. I sobbed for 3 days straight. The Lord reminded me of His love, comfort, and peace. I'm grateful that He comforted me. Prayer. Lord, let those who are grieving experience your comfort. Reflection. What can you do when you feel sadness from your loss? A lot of times when people are grieving, they recluse or they isolate themselves. As soon as I heard the news about my father, I ran to my spiritual family, and I asked for prayers, and I asked that they will be there, that they will keep me in their prayers, and they did. And they didn't just keep me in their prayers; they actually comforted me, called me, came over, and that was amazing because. I don't know with others, but with me, I want to be comforted, and I want to be validated that people care for me. And the first thing I did was also to, aside from that, is I read the Bible. I read the Word of God, and I asked Him to remind me not to live in the anger or the guilt or the frustration that I wasn't able to go to see my dad's burial. And the Lord reminded me not to live there, not to stay in grief. He allowed me to be able to express myself to Him honestly, and He knows and understands what I'm going through. Because I didn't really have much time to spend with my father since I moved to Canada. And even when I was back in the Philippines, he always worked abroad. So if you add up all the years that we were together in his life, it will probably not even be 2 or 3 years. So, but despite him working abroad, I felt really close with my dad. We had a bond, and letters kept us communicating and being open to each other. And so even if he was far away, I've always felt that he was just there. Even though I miss him on occasions that were milestones in my life when I was growing up, he was there after I gave birth to my son, and he was there to support me in all the endeavors that I got myself into. He was there in most of my exhibits. If he was in the Philippines, he was there. He was there to support my son in his violin prowess, and he was very proud of me and my son. And I have never felt that from any other member of my family, because I know that my dad and I really had that bond and connection. So I tried to focus on the good memories that I had with my father, because everybody is a sinner, and he had some problems with his past and his life, but I have forgiven him for all of that. But when I try to recall him, I try to focus on the good things that I remember him by. So I encourage you, if you are grieving over the loss of something or someone, just run to the throne, and he will be there to comfort you, because that's the word of God. That's what he